Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to extend a big thanks to my Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/bsmpod. Today, I have, if you're watching the YouTube video, a frozen picture of TheSWOOPER, player of Samus, all the way from New Jersey. And if you're listening, this is indeed the real SWOOPER, the real person who's going to be talking right back to me. And we're also joined by the lovely Twitch stream of twitch.tv/TheSWOOPER with an extra R at the end. Links in the description below, all those fun things. TheSWOOPER, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. I really appreciate you having me.
And it's been such a wild day for you, kind of full of ups and downs, but just to contextualize, we are talking early Saturday morning, live on twitch.tv on your stream, like I was saying, coming off of surviving the first round of Summit 12 voting, so congratulations, as well as placing second at East Coast Fridays. And we could talk about all of that, but I think the best place to start is to just quickly go over how awesome New Jersey is. It's your region, and not always one that gets like the most amount of love, but gets to be part of the nightclub. That's always very cool. Shout outs to Ryobeat, as well as I think that when New Jersey gets to represent at different events, like I think about SmashCon and the SmashCon Fall Fest, and then netplay events. I mean, there's usually talent from New Jersey that gets far enough into bracket to at least capture the attention of the Melee Stats Discord and beyond. Twitch chat as well. So shout outs to New Jersey. But what's one of your favorite things, or some of the things you like to think about when you think about New Jersey Melee?
Definitely the individual talent is something I nerd out about a lot. Like, whenever I look back on it, like my earliest memory of like starting out in this region, like one of the first friends I ever made at a local was like TheSWOOPER. So it's like that on its own should just like, I really kind of wish I had the camera on for you, because the way I'm waving my hand to me is just funny, because like of all the people I first meet at a local, it's just like TheSWOOPER. It's like, and I don't know, for example, like when I first met him, I just like knew from the first day I met him, like that guy was just gonna be fucking amazing. I can't really explain why. I just knew that. And then like one of the other few early people I met is like JFlex. Imagine going to a local for the first time and you just meet like JFlex. It's just like everyone here is like already so tough, but like I don't really know more or less how tough. I just know they're tough. And a lot of early, for me it was early, but like they're not really as known, but like Guava was one of the first good players I met to live the town over. Guava was mad good before he stopped playing. Korn was a really good Ice Climbers player who went to school in MDVA and has gotten sets off of like a ton of PR'd MDVA players. So yeah, Jersey has just like so many good players like tucked in. And that's probably my favorite memory, is remembering like meeting these people for the first time and just being like so starstruck that like all these really good people like lived near me. I just didn't know. We never really knew how good they were. Like now that we're all traveling and stuff, we have like a better idea how good we are and like how good we were. But at the time, we really didn't know. So we kind of would just all like show up to all these locals like super hungry trying to win. But then like every single person is just like so fucking good. Like holy moly! Like there is this premier Jersey local called Hitbox Arena that just like routinely had like top 20 like in Jersey level talent, like back to back to back, like at least like 7 people good enough to be PR'd, if they weren't PR'd already, would just show up like every single week. And then like randomly, like if like the top New York City players felt like farming, they would show up to farm. But yeah, that was like early Jersey for me. Now those locals don't exist anymore. Like Hitbox Arena, rest in peace. A lot of the early, like really top heavy Jersey monthlies that I remember always going to, like this one called Frame Trap House, just does not exist anymore. That was a crazy event in its own right. Like everyone, when someone would think of like their favorite like Peach Mart set, they might think of like Armada PPMD, but like my Armada PPMD was like Stango Ryobeat in the basement of my friend's house. Like watching those guys because like there was no cameras on them, just like the local degenerates being like, woo, Stango, woo, Ryobi. It's just like they're just not nervous. And Ryobi, when he's not playing nervous at all, is a beast. He's Ryo beast. Like, no meme. Like, I watching him playing versus Stango like live was just one of my favorite memories of like Jersey locals, Jersey regionals. Definitely super fun times.
I love hearing that you get to have all these early memories with people who are still around to this day. Not everybody, you're talking about players who have since moved on, but a lot of them are still around. Do you remember the first time that you met Hoborg? Before we got started officially with the recording part of this, we were talking about how I had Hoborg on before on the podcast, and you were like, oh, upstanding, like the highest of highest citizens that we have in Melee. I think he said something to that effect. Like, do you remember meeting Hoborg for the first time?
Funnily enough, that local that I just mentioned, Hitbox Arena, that's where I met Hoborg for the first time. And I can't remember exactly when, because it's like been a while ago at this point, but I just remember playing this Luigi player who I was just like, wow, that's like probably like one of the best Luigis I've played in this area, next to like Shiny Zubat or something. Shout out to Shiny Zubat. He's also a good PM player. I love tacos or Taco Cat. There is some Luigi player from Hitbox Arena who had something to do with tacos in his name. Really good Luigi as well. But I felt Hoborg was like a slight step above all of them when I played him. Like he got a set off me at one point. I don't know if it was at Hitbox Arena, but I know it was like at a Jersey local. And yeah, he's just like super humble, down to earth. Like he's the type of person who I just think knows how to like improve because he knows how to like separate the game from like, like how you like must be feeling, like your own like internal emotions and stuff. Like I felt Hoborg was always one of the best at like handling that, like in my opinion.
That's really cool to hear. I mean, every time that I hear Hoborg talking, either to me on the mic or if it's like at a nightclub, like he's gotten on the mic a few times at the nightclub in more recent times here in 2021, and just being like, Hoborg needs to talk in front of people more often. That's what I always end up thinking. Really thinks through things well. So I love hearing him talk.
Yeah, I completely agree. Model citizen.
And hopefully, Luigi, that will pop up at some point. I mean, maybe not perhaps Summit ready just yet, but this whole topic of campaigning for Summit, it's something that there's a lot of people who like think about the idea of campaigning and getting in and being able to fulfill the dream of being able to go to one of the most prestigious Melee events that we have. It's Summit, it's Genesis, it's Big House. Like there's not a lot of events that have the kind of draw that Summit has. So one way to get in, of course, is to qualify, and that's, those are for the tryhards. But what about campaigning and being a little bit more grimy and embracing the content side of things and being like, this is like school, like being class president, except there's money on the line. I want to play video games, and this is just hell a lot of the time. You saw what Summit 11 voting was like and how much Yangling had to do to get in, for instance, as well as, the top players as well, like that whole mix of, should this be a thing? Should this not be a thing? Who deserves to go to Summit through the voting process? Why are we doing this in the first place? Like all this kind of discourse, it makes the biggest prize pod in Melee's history, all that fun stuff. Like, is that when you start thinking to yourself, I think I might want to do this for the next one? Like, when does it begin for you that you get the idea to start for this Summit 12 upcoming?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Anybody who knows me personally, like Jersey players, hometown friends, they literally just know that I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on. I literally just was like, "Oh, wow, I qualified. Cool. I'm just gonna like, enter. I don't expect to make it far." That's really what I said to myself. I was just like, I don't expect to make it far. Wow, I'm just like scrolling down, looking at like all these like, not even try hard, but like well put together, like Summit, bios or whatever, like, oh wow,
Yeah,
plug, so good. Free Palestine, amazing tag, 10 out of 10 tag, nice guy.
absolutely.
Yeah, like good Sheik player, and I'm just like looking at all these people, and then me, and I'm just like, yeah, I literally have no idea. I'm just gonna like type. I typed whatever bio I typed, like it came straight from the heart. It's just like this is how I feel. This is where I'm from. This is why I play the game. Blah blah blah. And I just typed that up, and somehow I made it to. I made it past the nominated side, and now I'm like in the round one, like of the actual votes. And then uh, at that point, then some people start telling me like, yeah, like you could actually have a chance, but you'd actually have to like start campaigning and stuff. And so I remember there was this like Discord I put together like months ago, literally months ago, just because I know myself. I would literally forget it existed if I just like didn't start it early. I made a Discord. This is like Swooper for Summit, like literally 4 months ago, and Dark Genix was like, that's way too early, bro. That's way too early. And I'm just like, nah, dude, you know me. This is like literally not too early for me. Like if I don't and start inviting people 4 months in advance, I will forget this exists. And then he's like, nah, too early, too early. And then I listened to him, and lo and behold, 4 months later, I forget it exists. I'm actually in the like literally as early as like yesterday was when I started inviting people. Like now we have like close to like 70 people or something in the group, and like it's like
A
it's flourishing. It has like potential, but like that wasn't until like literally yesterday, and like not just like from me, from like shout outs to like Monk, shout outs to Oro, shout outs to Tamis, shout outs to like all the people who just pretty much were like, all right. So we get you had no idea what you were doing, but now you know what you're doing for the most part. Now it's so clear you have a chance. You should try. Like these people were just basically telling me, like, you should at least try. Like it's better to like try and like fail than not try at all and not even like know. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm trying to get my act together. Like I'm a very disorganized person. I've always been that way, and like I just even for something I really like doing, like making content, playing this game, like I'll just like forget to not even like forget to stream. I'll just not feel like streaming, or if I have a good content idea, if I don't like do it really quick, if I don't literally like just sit behind my computer for 5 hours and get this content done fast, it's just gonna cease to exist. I won't feel like doing it the next day. Like I'm just a very inconsistent person with like my mood. I just have to be like in the right mood to like do things. But with something like Summit, that's just like unacceptable. You have to like constantly be on the grind. You have to constantly like be pushing. You have to constantly like be making stuff like memes, whatever. And that's something I'm gonna like try hard to like implement. Like I have like good ideas, and I just need to like literally even like in Melee, like I'll have like a good idea, but then I'll just like be too lazy or just go for the easier route because like it's the easier route. So I just need to execute on like ideas that are actually worth going for instead of just like sitting back and just like letting things like just work itself out. Like that's literally my worst habit in tournament is like I'll just be like, let's say it's a slow matchup like Peach Samus. I'm like, yeah, if I just like missile, this is just gonna work its way out. Like I'm good enough, and then they start outplaying me in areas that like I was not used to, and then I'm like, oh well, I have to adapt. Well now look like record scratch. Like now you're down a stock. This is what happens when you get too comfortable, and you deserve to lose here because you're getting too comfortable. So that's like my personality is that I literally had zero gameplay. If anything, if I actually do make it into Summit, that would actually be insane. Like literally insane. Like objectively the best Summit campaign of all time. Like there's no question. There's no question. There's literally no way. There's literally no way that anybody could even match that. Like I'm not even like trying to be funny. Like I literally just woke up one day and was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just opt in. let's just see how this goes.
if IBDW or any other, I mean, that's the only person who I could even remotely picture of the invited Summit players listening to this interview, right? because I have to know where I am. I don't have a ton of top players listening to this, I don't think. But all that to say, just imagine IBDW listening to this and going, "Are you kidding me? The Swooper just woke up one day and decided to campaign, and now I have to study the Samus matchup just to be sure that I like have a game plan for that."
Cody of all people would hear exactly what you just said, freeze for a hot second, and then be like, "Yep, that makes sense to me." Like I promise you that would make perfect sense to him. He would not. He would shake his head and say something Cody Schwab would say. I don't know what Cody Schwab would say in that situation, but it would definitely be lighthearted, but it would definitely just be like as expected of like my personality. Like he would be like not surprised, you know what I mean? Well, like it would definitely be funny to hear what he would have to say. I'd love to hear what he'd have to say. Cody's definitely legendary personality to me.
You'll get to hear what IBDW says as he continues to. I mean, he made great content around reacting to Summit 11 voting, so I imagine.
Oh yeah.
You already got a great shout out from Hugs. Hugs was reviewing all of the Summit 12 nominations and seeing who went through, the last 20 people for the official voting process, and was like, oh, "We got the Swooper, probably the best Samus doing it right now." And he's serious when he said that, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool for Hugs to say that." So Hugs will be making content around it as he did for the last time. So just imagine you getting in, having the, like in your words, the objective most successful Summit campaign of all time, and you just kind of get to sit back and realize, yeah, me and the homies, me in New Jersey were able to do this. But then you get to see everybody else's reactions, like stream clips or YouTube videos, and everybody's just going like, "Have to learn the Samus matchup again." Oh, we're going to have Samus on stream again. Do we have to do the Peach Samus matchup? Do we have to do the Sheik Samus matchup? And everybody starts complaining about floaty mid tiers, and then everybody else saying, "Shut up! Samus is such a fun character to watch." Which I would say I'm one of the people that enjoys watching Samus. I mean, especially like I'm saying this in the nicest possible way. The higher stakes melee, I don't care who's there. You could give me a Jigglypuff versus... No, it's not a Jigglypuff. Sorry. You could give me a Roy versus a Game & Watch, or you could give me Zelda versus Mewtwo. If it's for grand finals, if it's for, $50 or whatever in a 50-person bracket, I'm super hyped because that means that they beat good players or at least better tiered characters to get there, and that's awesome. So in Summit, it's hype because every set in Summit matters so much. Seeing you play there, that would be super cool.
Yeah, that's something I also look forward to because I totally think like if Pikachu is up there, if Yoshi is up there, there's absolutely zero reason Samus can't also hang up there. Like literally just no reason. There's just no one else doing it, and it's not even I think because people aren't good enough. I just think, and I've like said this before, there's just like, if you want to become a good Fox player in Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, you could literally just go on YouTube and look it up. If you want to become a good Sheik player, you can go on YouTube and look it up. If you want to be a good Marth player, you can go on YouTube and look it up. If you want to be a good Pikachu, if you want to be a good Yoshi, if you want to be a good Samus, you can't do that. You have to dig around through Smashboards, find like super old posts about people talking about these like forgotten characters, or like catch Axe or something while he's just trying to like buy like groceries or something and be like, "Look, man, I know you're busy, but I don't fucking know anything about Pikachu. I need you to like teach me." Or like Tyler Swift, how did he get good with Pikachu? And like to answer that question, he probably had to find his own unique. Have you seen that guy play Pikachu? Like, I know I'm not supposed to.
The nightclub this past week was insane. Between him and Aklo Grand Finals, what a set. That was awesome.
Like, somebody only plays Pikachu like that because they had no guide. They literally don't have a guide. They literally they learn the game, and this is their take on the character. Like, I've never seen anyone play Pikachu like that.
I loved all the down airs.
Yeah. That's why there's no standardized meta for these mid-tier characters. And that's why everything feels so new, because the general good meta doesn't exist to the public. Like, I watch Amsa play and I'm like, yeah, that's how a good Yoshi should play. And then I watch Whiskers play and I'm like, yeah, this is how a good Yoshi plays, but that's not. Like, he's just doing certain things that I've never seen other Yoshis do, and that's just so unexplored. And that's like what's really cool about mid tiers coming back at high level is that there really is just so much more melee to be played with them. And I know like the other good players who main like Fox and stuff in the top 20, they'll never like, I don't know if it's that they won't admit to it, but they just, there's always some barrier of like respect. Like they'll never, maybe they would admit to it or maybe they won't, but it just feels very disingenuous. Or like when like Axe wins, or like sometimes like Yoshi wins or something, and like it's the first thing I hear is like, oh, I didn't get that right, or that's actually cheese. The only reason that worked is cheese. Like that cheese worked because they have to go for that cheese at high level. And it's just like, it's like at this point we get it. The game has been out for like 69 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why do we? It's like we already know that these things don't consistently work, but like they're legit mix-ups that could work if like you test somebody's reactions or you tech chase properly, yada yada yada. And that's just kind of
You
like what I
condition
feel
them.
like. Yeah, exactly. That's like what mid tiers have. Is like they don't have the like brokenness of just like full hop back carrying with Fox, but they have like the tools to like wait for Fox to land and then like maybe catch him on like his ninth landing. And it's like, sure, they have to like play neutral out 10 more times, but like they could still like compensate for it with like the ridiculous punish game that like Yoshi has or something, you know? So stuff like that is just like a big part of Melee that like, unless you're good enough to like show that part, you kind of just like are making these characters look like they have no potential, or like you're just waiting to get made fun of. It's like, haha, like look at insert Yoshi, Pikachu, Samus, Luigi try again and again, and they just don't get anywhere because the character can't do it. They're just wasting everyone's time. But in my opinion, I don't think that's true at all. I think it's like hard, but I definitely think that there's still a lot more those characters can do. And in an ideal Melee world, they probably would need a secondary. Like Tyler Swift has a great Pikachu, but I've seen him switch to Fox for like the likes of Peach and Puff.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, like Pikachu can probably like consistently do it versus like Peach Puff if you're cracked enough. But like you could just like switch Fox for those two matchups and play Pikachu versus everybody else. And it's like you're still representing Pikachu in the meta while also like playing the main meta, which is like the top 7 characters. I've been thinking about that a lot with Samus, like secondarying, like just I don't know who. I really don't know who had secondary, but I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and it would mostly be for like the Sheik matchup and like maybe Falcon, but like yeah, that's how I feel about like the mid tiers and like their representation in the top like level of play.
I know what you mean by the respect factor, and really it seems backwards to me, right? Where if somebody plays really well with a mid tier and beats players, you know, that are comparable in terms of ranking, even just on like a local regional level, like if you, the swooper, are beating players around you, like tonight, for instance, East Coast Fridays, you know, maybe Hungerbox had the DQ out of losers finals and then you went straight back up to the grands to get your your semi-winner set against Ben to try to run it back. It didn't work out, but like you got to that point where you had beat other people to get to grand finals on loser side versus Ben, who, you know, is a good Sheik player, so GG's, but you went through all the other people in the open bracket for East Coast Fridays tonight, and you played very well to get there. It's not like anything was handed to you, and people sometimes react in a way that I'm like, feel like is backwards, which is like, poor swooper, or wow, Samus, huh? And I think that it almost garners, like, it has to garner at least an equal amount of respect because you're accomplishing the same things. You're pressing the buttons good and winning the game. I don't understand why, because it's not the character you want to see, you have to start coming up with this long list. Because the truth is that everybody could do that. I could complain about Fox all day or Sheik all day. I could complain about Puff. I could complain about Falcon, Marth. Doesn't matter who, the Spaceys. So I think from my own perspective, especially for somebody who watches more Melee than I play most of the time, I like to find things to enjoy about watching the game as compared to finding things to complain about the game. That would be addressing a lot of things that Twitch chat does, so I can't control that. But I do really like, close this part of the interview, and before we're moving on, like the final thought is I like watching mid tiers like Samus, and especially when they succeed. So like seeing you win G Town Tom's birthday bash, for example, 96 person bracket. It's a pretty good set of people there at that event, and you won it. And I was super excited. And it was kind of sad when there wasn't a whole lot of buzz about, wow, the Swooper won. I mean, almost a 100 person bracket. That's kind of a big deal up in New England. They got some good players up there. And it was just kind of like, oh, now we're moving on.
Yeah.
But congratulations on that as well, by the way.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's definitely one of my better wins of like not just since I started playing again, but just in general, because I had to beat Wally, Ryobi, Warmer, and Ricky was a Fox, and like just like a bunch of other good New England players, like Gwex is really good, Glock and My Toyota is really good. So yeah. I definitely sometimes don't give myself enough credit in that regard. And the stream was like having issues, so like not everyone could even properly see me. Like reset the grand finals on Wormer is also really good. So yeah, sometimes like even I find myself like having that like imposter syndrome where it's like, oh, you're only winning because not everybody actually knows what to do against Samus, which is like dumb at this point because I've been playing some of these motherfuckers for years. They know how to fight the Swooper, I promise you. I had like a really, really tight set with Ryobi too. Me and Ryobi always have crazy sets too. Like we always have like down to the wire sets. So like having to play someone like Ryobi is always super hard at a regional, because even though I didn't have to play him in grand finals, he definitely was my hardest opponent that day, like for sure. He just knows how to play really well. He's Ryo Beast. Like, what else is there really to say about that? But ever since that tournament, I've only been getting like second or third. And like even at like Jersey locals, I've only been getting like second or third, because I keep losing to JFlex and Mop Money. I go pretty back and forth with Wally for the most part. But like I just keep losing to JFlex and Mop Money. Like I'll take a set off Mop Money like once every like 2 months or like something, but like JFlex I haven't been at all this season. And
JFlex has been really leveling up, if that makes you feel any better. I mean, it probably doesn't, but JFlex has been playing really, really well, like in the Slippy going into the post-quarantine era. So shout outs to JFlex.
I've known him for a while. I'm super familiar with how good he is. I just I need to like explore some of these matchups more. I need to talk to Duck more. I gotta play with like Swedish Delight more. There's like more I just could be doing that I just don't do. And like how I mentioned before, like my personality is just disorganized like that. It's like I know hitting up Swedish to play is good. I know hitting up Flex to play is good. I know that like studying my sets is like good, but I just like don't always do that. Like I'll like actually practice like once a week, maybe. And if like I'm randomly feeling it, then like I'll have like a 2-day streak, 3-day streak, but then it just goes away. It's like almost like I forget how to practice. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Like I literally just have the most inconsistent practice regimen I've ever seen in my entire life, and I just somehow get better. I mean, the drive is definitely there. That's for sure. The willpower to want to get better, to stop doing repetitive, lazy options is there. Like I want to get better. And sometimes my practice sessions aren't always the worst, but like I just think that if I really had a routine down, I could be like a lot more threatening of a player. But it is what it is. Life is full of obstacles, and I just gotta eventually figure this one out, and I think I'll level up a lot for sure.
Is life also full of Medify coaching sessions? Because you are a Medify coach over, okay, let's not say the word again, but that platform, you use that platform to coach. Do you have any students?
So as far as that platform goes, it's pretty RNG in terms of like how busy I am with it. Like there'll just be like 1 week or like maybe 1 to 2 weeks where it's like I'm doing it like 4 times a week. I've got like plenty of students, and it's keeping me busy. And it's actually nice having that extra money. All that extra money I made from Medify straight up goes to traveling. Like I just want to go to like more majors, more tournaments, beat more people, etc. But then there's just like dead weeks. Like right now I'm experiencing a dead week. Like last week I had like maybe like 3 students, but then this week I just had like nobody. Uh, and it you almost like feel it like you don't really expect anybody for like another week or two. And then randomly, like usually when like Medify does a discount, or if I have a good run like this, like if I had students after this, that would make complete sense to me because I just got rated by Hungrybox. I'm doing an interview, like all this good fun content stuff. But like sometimes I'm just like I was mentioning before, I'm just inconsistent person. Sometimes I don't stream, sometimes I don't enter things, and I feel like I just don't remind people that like I'm out here doing stuff, and like they forget to even like want to ask me for anything. So yeah, as far as that platform is concerned, it's just RNG. I would like to have more students. It would be cool to have more extra money to travel and stuff. But for now, it is what it is.
Yes, the house of the swooper. That would be super cool to see that. I wanted to ask you about your traveling for this year so far. So we talked a little bit about the G Town Tom birthday bash. I keep wanting to
Yeah.
say Uncle Tom, so I'm glad I keep sticking the landing, but boy, it's tough. I wanted to ask you also about other tournaments that you've gone to that have been sort of like a highlight for you this year, because despite the fact that we're looking ahead to Summit as well as the Smash World Tour Last Chance qualifiers and that whole tournament, because right after Last Chance qualifiers, the same weekend, they're going to have like the World Finals and represent
Yeah.
all kinds of regions. That's going to be super cool. December's going to be
Yeah.
crazy for Melee. Let's just put it that way, post
For
Thanksgiving.
sure. For sure. For sure.
But looking back, it's been quite a year. Been able to get back to in-person events. That's obviously a blessing. It's nice to have a good setup that does the thing. I wouldn't be able to say that just yet. This laptop sucks, but someday.
Mhm.
So for you, the swooper, what would you say are some events that have been some highlight, like either for the good, bad, and the ugly? Like what stands out to you looking back at this year?
Uh, I felt I could have had a slightly better year. I don't usually feel that way. Usually I'm honest with myself and I'm like, yeah, this year went about as good as it could have gone. But I just feel like I could have done slightly better at like quite a few events. Like Riptide, I lost a little early to the Leaf. Don't get me wrong, is really good, but I felt that like that was literally my first time traveling in so long. I was just really rusty at a lot of things. Um, and so I didn't even end that badly. Like I got like 25th at Riptide, but I just felt I could have done slightly better.
Sure.
Um, at main stage in losers, I actually ran into Mott Money, somebody I play a lot,
Oh
and as
no,
of
Mott Money
recently,
again.
yeah, as of recently, he's been beating me. Like before, we used to go really back and forth, but as of now, it's definitely like I'd say 75% in his favor.
You were saying one or two times in 2 months, right?
Yeah, no, like I think last season, like as far as like this season and last season are combined, like I've only beaten him like twice, maybe 3 times, but like out of like
Ooh.
6 or 7 sets, like it feels like I'm getting my ass whooped more just because he'll have like more streaks, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 2-3 record versus his like 7 set win or maybe 6 set win. I just know that he's like up, like maybe like double. So it's like I lost to KGH in winners, whatever, close, respectable set, and then I just bump into Mott Money. It's like sure I could have won, like it was a 3-1 set, like and the games were like a lot closer than usual, but I just lost to somebody from my hometown. Didn't get to play like any new players or any like as soon as Mott Money like beat me, he got to play Daki. Like I would have liked to play Daki or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
especially in bracket.
yeah. So main stage could have gone better for that reason. What else did I go to? I feel like there's something else I'm missing. Main stage. Oh, I literally have it in front of me. My passes are hanging on my wall. SmashCon. I barely lost to Logan to get like ninth, and Polish like washed me in winners. Don't get me wrong, Polish is a god, But when I played Polish at Hold That L, even though he 3-0'd me, I know it's a stereotypical thing to say close 3-0, but literally I made him work really hard for every game. I think he would agree to that too. Like every game was last stock, and like it was like a timeout situation. Like, but at SmashCon, I just felt like I ran into him and got like double two stocked. Don't know why. Just was like not feeling it. It almost felt like I wasn't supposed to beat him, which is like bad, getting in my own head. And then when I just kind of snapped out of it, I was like, all right, you can totally beat Logan and like make this comeback. And then I like lose to Logan game 5 last stock, and it's just like another one bites the dust, another like just event where I felt if I did even just ever so slightly better, I could have gotten top 8, or I could have gotten top 16, or I could have gotten top 48 or something. And it just didn't work out that way. So I think that says a lot about the amount of discipline I need to work on. And like I'll still find myself like doing super high level things and then still just like fucking around. Like I don't know, like I'm playing like Zane's Roy here, and I'm just like DIing in on all his throws for like no reason. Like I just want to go in, and then like, you know, I'm just like getting super punished for it, and I'm just like pretty much telling to myself, like, not even to be hard on myself, but it's like you don't even like deserve to beat someone like Zane if you're just gonna hold in 95% of the time. Like you're just giving him free damage just because you're being impatient. So stuff like that is like something that you just have to batten down and just flow and just like stop letting your emotions take over. Stop letting that like that blood boiling feeling of I just want to get down, play neutral again or something, versus like Roy, not Roy, Marth. Because Roy, honestly, it's Zane. I know it's just like Roy, but it just feels like a pre-evolution Marth. So it's just like it functions the same. Like if you're trying to get down versus a character like Roy, Marth, and you're just trying to force it, you're just not going to get down. And like I'm trying to force these things, and at this point in my Melee career, whatever you want to call it, why am I even doing that? And it's like this whole battle, you know, that comes with playing like a mid-tier floaty character as well.
Yeah, that you have mastered a lot of the game as it is now, enough to place well in these brackets where you're consistently getting to the spot where you feel, okay, I'm starting to run into some good opponents now. I don't necessarily feel like I'm guaranteed to win this set in particular, because of course you're going to win the first round in winners and the second round and probably the third round, fourth round, so on. But as you start to get close to like the level of like of competition that is equal to you, it feels like for you a lot of new extra thoughts start to run in where your confidence level's like so on average, maybe. You know, I'm not trying to project into exactly how you feel in every situation, but it's just
it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, where you're saying, okay, I don't know how good I feel about my chances of winning here, and then I think maybe something that seems to happen to you is that you feel like you're almost in your head during a set where people talk about, like, you know, you need to be in the moment, you need to understand what's happening to you right now, and that kind of thing. But like you're playing as Samus, so even if you're playing against a Fox, there's going to be a certain amount of slower pace. I mean, I always wonder to myself, what does Wes think about when he's recovering for 20 seconds after getting hit off stage on Dreamland?
Yeah.
What does the Swooper think about? What does Morse Code think about? Or YCZ or Duck or Hugs, you know what I mean? What do all these Samus players think about? And to me, I just think, oh, get back to stage. But you don't think that for 20 seconds straight. So do you feel like it's partially because you get afforded an extra opportunity to have a couple of extra beats almost? That's what it feels like to me.
That is a very good way to put it, and very accurate to basically what I'm trying to say, because Samus is not the only character that gets that. I would say a very good example of another character that gets that is like Peach or like Jigglypuff. And it's just like, it's literally just raw discipline. It's literally, there's just no other way to put it. It's just like, so you know how you said like you're just trying to get back for 20 seconds? It could function the same for Peach or Puff. And for those 20 seconds, it's so easy to like trick yourself into thinking that like now is a good time to attack or something, when that's just like almost certainly never always the case versus a good opponent who's like expecting you to be there. So having it's almost just like exhausting for like those 20 seconds, like repeatedly telling yourself like, all right, don't, like, it's not even like this is a very broad way to put it. It could be very different for everyone, and I know it's different for me, but basically just don't be dumb. You're recovering for 20 seconds, and the whole time you're telling yourself, don't be dumb.
Yes.
Or you're just so in the moment where not being dumb comes naturally, which is how, in my opinion, it should be. But in most cases, for me, because I have like a super ADHD brain, I literally am telling myself, don't be dumb. And playing in the moment for someone super ADHD like that, I feel like is very difficult. I feel like a big part of why my discipline is so skewed is just because like I'm so easily distracted. I'll be recovering and I'll just think of something super random, like, wow, the grass on Dreamland is so green. You guys ever notice how green that grass is? Or like, what's Wispy's deal? Like, why is he just like there? Like, can he just fuck off? Like, I'm actually just thinking these things while playing. I don't know why.
Taking the longest pulls.
It's really distracting. That's all I can really say. Like, I am prescribed Adderall. Like, unless I'm just like on my Addy, or like if I'm running low and like I'm on coffee or something, like I will get distracted. That's like, music helps and all that. God forbid I forget my headphones and the crowd is just there and I'll just hear like someone having a conversation and I can't shake up that conversation or something. But like, that's basically like why my discipline I feel is so sketchy, because it almost like when I focus that hard, I actually can only be awake for like 4 or 5 hours. Like I'm using so much energy to focus on so many tiny details that like,
yep,
it's so hard to process it all unless I'm either on my meds or just really, really just like consistently telling myself. And it's, it's tough. I'm not gonna act like I'm a special, snowflake for having my issues in that regard. Like, everyone there's a lot of people with ADHD and all that, but like, it's a part of like the game that we play, and it's just tough. It's tough to like stay focused. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, not to try not to name drop super, super hard often. I was talking about this to Pipsqueak about the idea of like having a certain amount of mental energy in a day. You were just talking about how if you want to be on and being able to be in focus mode and just sort of like have everything else disappear, it doesn't disappear for you automatically. You have to actually concentrate on not only focusing on what's in front of you, but making everything else behind you go away so that it's not clogging your brain.
Yes.
And so you can't extend that. It's like holding up something above your head. Even if you're holding something as light as a small book, like a picture book for a kid to read, at a certain point, you're holding it above your head and you realize, I've been holding it above my head for like 5 minutes now. My arms are starting to hurt. And after 30 minutes, you're like, I'm going to die. I need to put my hands down. I can't keep this up forever. And so like, if you think of it in terms of what your brain can do, it's not like a pure muscle. It's just that if you are trying to do something that is very taxing on all the processes that you have going on, whether there's, any sort of, like, I don't want to call it a mental disease or anything. I'm just trying to describe it as like if there's something extra that you have to deal with it on top of playing an insanely fast game like Melee where things can happen at the drop of a pen, then yes, it's expected for you to run out of mental energy at some point and sort of just like crash. And I think a lot of players identify with that. And so like there's the idea of like conserving energy. So like for you, how often do you think of before a big tournament happens, like say you get into Summit, you're going to be playing Melee nonstop for like 5 or something days straight, right? There's at least Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the very least. So for you, like, how do you go into a spot like that without thinking about how to sort of, okay, I can't just burn all of this in one night and then I feel like crap the rest of the weekend and I play awful. So like what are ways that you try to think about it? I mean, other than what you've already talked about, which is, you make sure that your medication's right and you make sure that you that you like are purposely thinking about concentrating on what's in front of you, but like how else would you like go about it?
So the top two things for me are one, uh, and this is the thing too about Summit that I totally plan on taking advantage of if I make it, is that apparently they like cater you to if you like are hungry or like want something specific, to like get it for you, like and all that. And that's like the number one thing I was gonna say is catering to your human needs. And the second one is like creating like a playground, like something for you to look forward to. So like if I have to play Mango or something, I kind of have to like literally turn it into a game in my head so that I can like fuse with the moment that's happening. So like I would literally have to like look at it as like Dragon Ball Z or something. Like I'm just insert powerful character here versus like Mango. Like he's like one of the best to do it, one of the strongest Saiyans of all time. And this is going to be an epic battle for like the ages. And that's like kind of like the scenario I play in my head to make it as entertaining as possible. Because the more entertaining it is, the more I kind of just like become one with the set. And that's like a part of what makes consistency so difficult is that eventually you get bored of that. So imagine like one tournament, you like pretend you're like I don't know, just like the underdog, like you're climbing your way to victory. Like you kind of create this like little game in your head where like this is fun because I am the new guy. No one knows who I am. I'm playing a bad character, whatever you want to call it. But you can only do that so many times until it's like, I'm gonna do this again. Like if I have another tournament to do and then another tournament to do, by the time it's the eighth tournament, you kind of get bored of being the hero. You kind of get bored of being like whatever you're fantasizing about. Like, maybe I'm bored of Dragon Ball Z. Maybe I'm bored of whatever anime I really like, or whatever my favorite fight scene is I'm trying to compare it to. Like sometimes you just get bored. And it's really hard to like tap into that. I feel like I always play the best, win or lose, if I'm having fun with a set. So like, for example, when I played Logan, not gonna lie, I was like putting a lot of pressure on myself. I felt like I was playing well because I had to, not because I wanted to. And there's such a huge difference between that.
Yep. One
And
requires a
that's
lot more
something,
energy.
yeah. And that's definitely like something I'm like trying to perfect, but then at the same time just feels like a freaking, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, like a paradox. Like you're trying to perfect being human. It's literally not how that works. It's
Right, that's
literally
hard.
not how that works. And then the second thing, catering to your human needs, is like I swear to everything, I would just farm tournaments so much easier if I just always had access to everything I need. So let's say I go to a major, and I'm not gonna lie, I sacrifice a lot to get to some of these events. Sometimes I don't have enough to eat. Sometimes I don't give myself enough sleep because of the pressure I put in myself. Sometimes I just like will have these things floating over me. So it's like imagine playing pools and you're like literally hungry. Imagine trying to like perform at your best and like your stomach is growling, you're like literally starving, and like, but this is what you had to give up to be here. And when I'm like I imagine myself at Summit, it's like, oh, I gotta play Mango. Cool, I'll play him. I'll do my best, win or lose. Oh, what? I don't have to play someone immediately after. Well, that guy's gonna be really hard. But oh, hey, a chef or whatever, a Summit chef can get me like this food that I'm not used to having. Like, these meals prepared, like maybe an energy bar or something. Like, I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like my energy would just be so much more there. If I just got some subs. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Let's
Sometimes I
go.
feel like uh, if I was just able to cater to these needs.
Wait a minute. I'm not seeing Twitch chat scroll then. Oh noes. I need to refresh your stream on my phone. Sorry, keep going.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, sometimes I feel like if I was just like able to like responsibly care to my needs, because sometimes it's not always the fact that I can't afford food. Sometimes it's just like irresponsibility. It's like, oh, because I wanted an extra hour of sleep, now I'm late to warm up or something like that. So it's like really hard to be perfect and that's a part of what I was mentioning before, is like uh, a paradox. But in that regard, where it's something you actually have control over, that's like something you can get better at. The only difference is that sometimes it's just harder and harder. So like, let's be real. If like I do go to Summit and I need food or something, someone will just bring it to me. But if I'm at like a major and I have to play like KGH or something in like 30 minutes, you only have 30 minutes to feel properly warmed up. You only have 30 minutes to feel properly like fed. You only have 30 minutes to like think about this, or like traditionally you should have more time because you know all you have is time. But like maybe you wanted to like spend some time just like being human, hang out with friends. Maybe you just wanted to spend some time sleeping more or something. So it's like really hard to cater to everything. But I feel like in most cases, from what I remember, there are some top players who kind of get that even at majors. That's why VIP sections exist. So like
Sure.
I can remember, yeah, I can remember so many times where like I remember a Gommel where like I peeked into the VIP section just to play with the good players like years ago, and I see Leffen like getting a massage or something, and like there's like really nice food everywhere. Yeah, that's literally my reaction. What the fuck is this? I literally took a bus to Canada. I'm so hungry. Okay, I'm not actually always hungry for the record. I'm just saying that like sometimes I don't always ideally get the things I want when I travel the way that I do. But this is just like me in my head. It's just like making jokes. I'm just like, what the fuck? This guy's getting a massage. Look at all this food. And it's just like, he's got all these great players to warm up with. Like, man, this is fucked up. If I had all this, I'd be like sick too. But then there's the like other side of my brain that's like, yeah, but he definitely earned it all. And I was just like, yeah, I want to earn this all. And now I'm at a point where I feel like I'm kind of good enough for a VIP section, but like I don't really like feeling like a VIP. Is that weird? I feel like it's like pretentious. Like I'm not looking to like be above anybody. I just want some food, bro. I just want some like some like I just feel like I forget that I'm human. I just like go into these sets sometimes being so irresponsible. That's just like how I feel often though. Maybe it's not always the case like that, but
I feel
yeah,
like if
those
you
are
have
yeah.
someone who's willing to sort of be an extra set of hands for you, sort of like, I don't know, not a handler, but it's just like, I think of somebody who can talk to you after sets, you know, just to be quickly like, oh, I
Oh,
noticed you were doing this a lot. You were getting
yeah,
called
yeah,
out on
yeah.
this a lot. All right,
So,
now
coach,
this is your next thing. So we have 30 minutes to eat and drink lots of water and use the bathroom. And you go, okay, that's helpful. That's nice.
that that sounds godlike. That sounds like exactly like what I need. I feel like if I literally had, you know, I can think of actually somebody who was like that for me at one point, and it was definitely Adamisk, the ultimate player. We used to team a lot. I literally remember one time going up to him and telling him, literally just ask me if I ate. Like I just do that. And then he was like, okay. And then like 3 hours later we're doing teams and he's like, did you remember to eat? And I'm just like, you're right. So like I remember I feel like I always have like mini coaches here and there. So Adamisk was one of them. Warrior Knight. Most people don't know about Warrior Knight, one of the best Bowsers to ever do it.
Shout outs to
Uh,
Warrior Knight.
and like I remember when we met up at Gommel, every single time I would like have a close set or game or anything, he would just like take a big sip of his rum and coke, and he's just like, will be super honest with me. He's like, yeah, I think you're struggling here. I think you're doing this right, etc., etc. Like Warrior Knight. If I ever somehow become a rich top player, whatever you want to call it, I'd actually fly out that guy to be my coach. That he's one of the best coaches I've ever had ever. Always real, always honest, super smart player.
Are there going to be, I wonder if there's going to be coaches for Summit 12. There was no coaches for Summit 11, I remember. I wonder if it's different this time because how cool would that be? Like if they say to you, all right, congratulations for getting in the swooper, you can have a +1, you know, a coach to come along, and you're like,
That would
oh,
be pretty baller. I Warrior Knight's really inactive. I don't know if he'd want to go,
go to
but
a
in his
summit,
pure yeah.
go to a summit. Are you kidding me? It's
I mean,
Summit.
he's a family man, bro. He's got a kid. He's got a wife. He's
I feel
I
that.
rarely see him these days. Yeah,
That's me
but
too.
yeah,
I have a wife and 2 kids myself.
yeah, and we're also rusty on like vibing. Like he wouldn't even know where to start probably. Like when's the last time he was watched any of my sets? So realistically, if I were to have a coach, it'd probably be someone more recent. So like, uh, I don't even know. Maybe like I would honestly probably like bring JFlex or something, or Mott Money just for the hell of it. I think it would be so funny if I just brought Mott Money. He would.
There's a there's always a pot. Wait, hold on. Is there a Peach player in Summit right now? Actually, I don't think so. They're all in Smash World Tour. Treff, Smash World Tour, Polish, Smash World Tour.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of peaches there. But are you going to be going to Smash World Tour, by the way?
I'm going to the one in Orlando. I signed up. I still need to book a flight. But the flights are looking really cheap, and I'm hoping it stays that way. Because shit's expensive. But
Yeah,
yeah,
do be that way
I
sometimes.
also need roommates. Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to go to Smash World Tour.
I
Hopefully,
love that. Last chance
yeah.
qualifier. Please, if you have to play against Mewtwo King Sheik in bracket at the last chance qualifiers, just remember, I'm going to have so much fun seeing Mewtwo King tweet about the ultimate buffer system messing up his timing in Melee. I'm going to have so much fun seeing those tweets.
Mewtwo King, did he meet his sub goal? Is he going to enter?
That's correct. He's going to be going. He met a sub goal.
Wow, that's going to be so much fun. I look forward to just being in the same room as that guy. He's so fun to watch play Melee.
Oh,
Very,
absolutely.
very
I love the Return of the King timelines. I'm always down.
Yeah, it'll either be the Return of the King timeline or he'll get bamboozled by one of the new up and coming players.
Slippy Kids,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
either way, you're planning on going, so that's really cool. There's going to be a lot of players who just not only because of Summit who are going to be around for another week because it's back to back. It's Summit and then it's the Smash World Tour literally next weekend. Then you have Genesis at the end of January, and I feel like a lot of people are trying to justify the idea of just staying in the United States for that entire stretch of time. Like, why would we go back? Let's just stay in America. Either whether we like it or not, let's just stay in America and then be at Genesis at the end of January.
Wow. That would actually
I'm
be
kind of
really
getting that
insane.
impression.
That'd be so crazy if like AMSA or something just stayed in America the whole time.
I would love that, but I mean, I don't know for sure. It would just be cool if at least one or two people did. I feel that. I feel that in my bones that somehow somebody's going to do that. And that'd be great because then we'd get to see they would get so much experience to get to do all these Slippy events during the weekdays, and then there's probably like a big tournament here or there. I mean, we have the Function 2 coming up in New York City. That's going to be super cool.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to the function. I don't even remember when that is. There's just so many good events that pile up and line up that I need to like. I literally just sign up for things and show up. I don't organize anything. I'm pretty sure I heard that Summit and Smash World Tour are like really close to each other in date. So if I somehow make it to Summit, I should probably like call off properly or something. My job will get so mad at me. Yeah, like I literally just, like I said, like I just don't expect to make it. So if I do make it, it's like, wow, didn't think I'd make it this far. What happens now? So I should definitely call off that weekend, Summit weekend. Now that you remind me, I'm actually gonna write that down right now. On my phone.
Yeah, don't make me the reason why you're assuming that you're gonna go to Summit, because we all hope that you do, the Swooper. We all hope that you do.
Yeah. It's not assuming. I just want to plan in advance. Also, having the weekend off for Summit is still nice, whether I go or not. It's definitely an amazing event to just watch. It's the best thing ever, honestly.
Great Summit 11 grand final. So here's hoping that Summit 12 is much the same, and here's hoping that you get to be a part of it. Poggies.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about December here. So here's hoping that it's a wonderful December for you as well. And to get in the direction of wrapping up, because we've been at this for an hour, well over an hour now, but we've been recording the official part of the podcast for an hour. and it's getting late. I guess the closing topic is something to the effect of we've alluded to this. You know, the mid tier struggles, the disrespect. We've talked a little bit about how you sort of approach the game, what your mentality is, but tying it all back together to Samus. This is a character who a lot of people would agree and say this requires a lot of neutral based play style, someone who's willing to go to time, someone who's willing to be very careful to avoid trades in high stakes situations when they need to keep their 40% advantage, or if they're 40% behind and can't afford to be continue trading, blah blah blah. This is that kind of character. That's Samus. And so for you, you've stuck with the character for a long time now. So why Samus?
Why Samus? There's a short answer and a long answer.
It's a
I'm gonna give you
podcast.
both answers. The short answer is basically because she reminded me the most out of one of my favorite characters when I was a kid, Mega Man. Like, when I played Melee, I was like, there's literally, when the Samus in the purple suit, there's literally no other character that comes close to Mega Man. And I like any character. I was like a kid. I was like, I like any character that has any resemblance to Mega Man. This character is badass. That's the short answer. The long answer is that once I really got into competitive play, I never really felt like I couldn't. People told me often, like, Samus can't do it. Samus can't do this. Samus can't do that. You're not going to win. You're never going to blah, blah, blah. So something involving that and, like, my ambition to want to, like, improvise. Because, like, I always felt Samus was unexplored, even since, like, my really early days. Something about that just kind of drives me to, like, prove people wrong and, like, just be something different with something that, like, everyone just, my first impressions were like, you'll never, like, get good with this or get good enough. So, and even to this day, I still feel like there's way more Samus can be doing. Obviously there's matchups like Sheik and Falcon that are, like, really hard, but even, like, there's still just, like, so much more extra stuff that can be done that, like, I still think I'm not doing personally. So those are basically the short and long answers.
I love hearing that. There's so much more Samus to be discovered. It's just like there's so much more Melee to be played. And we're all really happy, especially in twitch.tv/TheSWOOPER, that you are still playing Melee and still trying to apply yourself as best you can. I mean, you're doing the best that you can, I would say, for the most part, like we all are. It is impossible to be on the level of working hard that a few exceptionally hardworking people tend to be within Melee, you know, the most front-facing grinders, but it's a great example to look up to. But, like, you know, that's we all have different paths that we take, and I'm glad that it sounds to me that you like where you are in terms of, like, you're not trying to be something that you're not. So, like, you're not forcing it and saying, no, I am the really hard grinder. I do practice every day for like 4 hours, that kind of stuff.
True.
Like, so, like, you want to be better. You want to place better than top 64, or at a smaller local, better than top 4. You want to win more, get more of the clout, if you will. And yeah, self-promoting and shelling is not as much fun, but what if people just come up to you like me and say, let's do something, the Swooper, and you say, oh yeah, sure, all right, I'm down, and they're asking because they know how sick you are, you know how sick you are. Of course you want that part, but overall it sounds to me that even if it defies logic sometimes that Samus is the character for you, I still think that's great, because that means that Melee can continue to be a game that just sort of flies against the expectations of the world, and it can turn out something that might be from left field, or it might be just totally like, wait, what? But then it works, and it makes beautiful Melee.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have been thinking that a lot too, is that, like, the path isn't always organized or, like, the most practical, but I've definitely played some good Melee with this character. and I definitely plan on playing more good Melee with her.
Trailblazing. You are trailblazing at the Swooper.
Hell yeah.
I love that. So one more time to make sure that the people know where to go to vote for you, where to go to find you on social media, like all that stuff if you want to plug yourself before we get out of here.
Twitch.tv/TheSWOOPER with 2 R's. My Twitter, also TheSWOOPER with 2 R's. And yeah, that's pretty much all I really care about right now is my Twitter and Twitch. And like my YouTube is like also just TheSWOOPER, I'm pretty sure. But like I still need to post more videos. Like my YouTube would be cool to like have blow up, but I just don't have enough videos on there. I mean, it'd be cool if you guys want to watch that too. I think I have like 2 really good combo videos that people like, but I want to do more with that. But yeah, that's essentially what I have to offer. I'm just thinking about who I'm going to raid right now. Chat, who do I raid? Should I raid Nun? Should I raid Magi? Should I raid Zane? Or should I raid Mango? I feel like they just...
Can I put a vote in for Magi for myself just because she's doing that tournament to sort of raise votes for herself to get into Summit, you know? Always love to see Magi make Summit.
Yeah, I'm gonna raid Nun just because Tamis told me to.
Oh, Tamis, Z Tamis. So while we're shouting out people from the stream, you know, we got Crocosa, we got Pro Casual Gamer, we got Welcome to Wally's, we got Fast Flyer, and I already said Z Tamis. Shadow Ninja 44, Salty C. I could not see the rest of the chat flowing. I thought it froze or something, and I tried restarting the stream on my phone, but I can't see all you lovely people. But thank you for being here with us. Thank you for watching the run, the blessed run tonight for the Swooper. And for you, the Swooper, thank you so much for joining me on Bottom of the Smash Mountain. People who are listening to the podcast or watching my YouTube video here afterwards can vote for the Swooper still because I'm releasing this as soon as possible. The link to the voting page is down below in the description.
Hell yeah, super appreciate it, and hopefully we can talk some more sometime. I'm gonna end it with that, and I'm gonna send my stream to Nun, so hopefully Nun stays up longer so you guys can enjoy some more Melee before bedtime.
Yeah, and thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, the Swooper. Appreciate it.
Awesome, hell yeah. Have a nice night. Take care.
See ya.